own, but I'm gonna keep it real. He wanted to abort the baby, and I'm not pro-abortion. I'm pro-life, but I am pro-choice. It's your choice to do whatever you want to do. For me, I didn't want to do that, but because of all the drama I felt like he was putting me through, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna abort the baby, and I will never ever speak to him a day in my life. I made up in my mind I was never going to deal with him again. And I wasn't able to go through with the abortion. Wasn't able to do it. And he was like, he finally came around and he was like, it's okay, babe. We're going to be together. We're going to raise the baby. We going to do this. But I harbored resentment and just disdain in my heart for him because I was like, I didn't want to have an abortion to begin with. But anyway, it wasn't until I was 5 months pregnant that I had a cyst on my ovary that was, after they drained it to get it out of my body, it was 5 pounds, and my baby was only 1 pound at the time. And let me tell you how good God is. I went to the doctor one day and they said, your cyst on your ovary is so big, one day it's going to torque or turn and it's going to kill your ovary, kill your tube. You're going to go into labor and you're only 20 weeks pregnant. You're going to lose this baby. I was like, they were like, we need to do emergency surgery. I was like, you're not doing surgery on me while I'm pregnant. I'm not doing that. No, sir. I wouldn't even go to the dentist. I'm not doing nothing. No. Anybody who's ever been pregnant, at 19 weeks and below, they won't even try to save the baby. I was 20 weeks and 1 day when they legally, by law, have to try to save the baby. I was 20 weeks and 1 day when that cyst torqued and I went into labor. But anyway, they took the cyst out. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks and it was touch and go with me and the baby. They were able to take the cyst, take the ovary, take the tube, everything, but they were able to save her. I was still pregnant. They sewed me up. I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks and she's here. It wasn't until I had went through all of that he really started to show genuine care and concern for me and this little girl. So 5.5 years goes by. Fast forward the story. We have 2 kids. I said, look, either we get married or I'm out of here. And he was like, well, I'm just not ready to get married. So he bought me a ring. And now that I think about it, he never proposed. He never literally technically asked me to marry him. I call that ring like a placeholder, like a hold my line in place, hold my place in line. Because he gave me this ring, but you didn't ask me to marry you. So that's kind of like, well, I'm not ready to go up to the register and make this purchase, but I don't want nobody else to buy you either. So let me just give her this ring, shut her up, and hold my line in place, hold my place in line. And I was like, this not going to work for me. So I gave him a deadline, gave him an ultimatum. If you don't have a date in the next 30 days when we're going to get married, I'm leaving you and I'm taking the kids. Long story short, he had up until October the 31st. He said he wasn't ready to get married. He couldn't come up with no date, and I was gone. I made him pack up everything in the house, rent a U-Haul truck, and then I made him and his brother drive me back to Virginia Beach, which is where I wanted to live. I made them drive me from Fort Hood, Texas to Virginia Beach. Now, I'm the only person I've ever known to leave her man and take his children and make him help her leave him. That just tickles me. But anyway, it's been 14 years since we've been broken up. He's gotten married since then. He has 3 more children in addition to our 2 children. And unfortunately, he's just not daddy material. I'm not going to say that he doesn't try, because he does. But he doesn't try the way children have told him that they need him to try. My babies sat him down at the table and they told him, we need you to call more. We need you to email, text, write more, send a bird with a note in his mouth, something. And he's so wrapped up in his military career and what he wants to do that he has no time for nobody else but him. And I used to think that he didn't have time for my children, but he was good to go with his wife and his 3 kids in his house. But everything that glitters is not gold. She had the same problems with him, and they lived together in the house with the 3 kids. It's just he he does try. He paid for half of my daughter's sweet 16. He came for her graduation. My son even lived with him last school year, but he doesn't get it. He does not get it. He's so wrapped up. This is his last year in the Army. He's been in the Army 23 years. He has a nice little rank on his shoulder, baby. He's an E8. That is a Master Sargeant. He has a nice little rank. He got all these people working beneath him. He can manage all of his soldiers, but he can't manage his house, and he can't manage his emotions. And that's sad. Over the years, if it was not for me making him be a father to my kids, because I was like, look, I'm stressed out and I'm tired. I'm working 2 jobs trying to make sure that I keep a roof over me and these kids' head. I need the summer off. Either I take the summer off, or the kid's gonna come live with you 24/7. See, he the type of person, if you really want $1,000, you gotta ask him for 1,500. That way he'll give you 1,000. So I really wanted the summers off for me to just recoup and get my mind right. So then I told him that I need the kids to live with him full time. So that way I get the summers. See how they work? That's the type of person you're dealing with when you're dealing with him. So, and then I also wanted my kids to know their dad. I fought for their relationship. I made him be a daddy, whether he wanted to or not. I made them kids go every summer. We switched off Thanksgiving and Christmas. This year I got them for Thanksgiving. Next year you get them for Thanksgiving. We would switch off like that until they're old enough to where they decide whether I want to go or not. At 18 and 16, they know whether they want to go or not, and I'm not going to force them. But he's just not ready. And the young lady, I was sharing my story with her that he is just not ready. This man has 5 children, he's married, and he's still not ready to be a father. He does not know how to be a father. He did not have a father growing up. He barely had a mom growing up, and that has skewed and affected the way that he thinks. But the whole point I wanted to share, and I did share with the young lady, is it has been hard to be a single parent for 14 years. It has been the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. Believing him was the best thing I ever did in my life, because I would be with him just for the sake of being with him, just for the sake of my kids being with their dad, and I would be freaking miserable. And my kids wouldn't be who they are now had I not left him. I wouldn't be who I am now had I not left him. Now, I'm not saying everybody got to leave their man. That's a choice between you, your man, and God, and whatever it is you need to do. But I know for me, that was the best thing for me to do, or I was going to catch a charge, just point blank in the period. But it has been so hard. But you know what? It has been worth it. I took myself out of the equation because I didn't want to be one of those moms who just got with a man just so he could help her with her kids. I wanted to show my kids and prove to myself that I can do it with or without some man. And it's not, I'm not one of those kind of women who like, I don't need no man. I can do it by myself, blah, blah, blah. Good for you if you that type of woman. Men are wonderful. Wonderful. Hallelujah. Wonderful. But I wanted to show my kids that if you're going to be with somebody, you be with them because they love you, because they love God, because they respect you, because they want to be with you. I want somebody to celebrate me, not tolerate me. And I feel like we had gotten to that point where we were tolerating each other. And it's best if we just separate, we just part ways. Ain't no need in tolerating, when you can go on and be by yourself and be celebrated. Hell, celebrate yourself. And I just shared with the young lady, and I want to share with anybody out there who is a single parent or who's going through hard times, rough times. It's so not easy, but it's so worth it. I stayed grounded and rooted in the Word of God. I'm not perfect Christian. I cuss like a brand new sailor, but that does not take away the fact that I love and respect God. Cussing is just one of my issues, like we all have. It has been hard. Money has been funny and change has been strange, honey. But I did it. My daughter has graduated from high school with honors. She got scholarship. She got financial aid. She got everything that she needs. She's in college and she is thriving. God allowed me to purchase a car for her. I'm a single parent. I'm not supposed to be able to do that. I'm not supposed to be able to have built a house to all the specifications that I wanted, but he did it. If you listen to the media and the news, the statistics says that my son is supposed to be a pants sagging, gun toting thug who sell drugs and have a baby mama. The devil is a lie. I raised those kids in the Word of God. I never dated. I put myself on the back burner. And not that dating when you're a single parent is wrong at all. But for me, I made the choice that I did not want men in and out of my house. I did not want men in and out of my children's lives. I wanted them to see that they can make it. We can make it if we hold on to God's unchanging hand. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. Many a days I wanted to quit and I wanted to give up. I wanted to throw in the towel, but God. That's just it. But God. You know, their dad, it was always something. My daughter needed braces. I can't afford it. I made it happen. God made it happen. She wanted to do cheerleading, dance, everything. Well, I can't afford it. I can't afford her uniform. Other than the child support, he wasn't trying to afford nothing, honey. But God made it happen. So to that young lady, I was telling her, girl, you can do this. You make sure you get a career that you don't have to live on minimum wage. You get a plan and you work your plan and you stick to it. My son is a 16-year-old junior in high school. He's supposed to be a sophomore. But when he was little, they skipped a grade because he was so intelligent. I used to sit at the table every night after working all day long. I would sit at the table with my babies every night. And I would go over their lesson. I would go over their colors, their numbers, money, whatever they were working on in school. I would go over that, and then I would skip ahead to the next lesson. So by the time the teacher taught the next lesson, mine already knew it. He is an awesome kid. He's headed for college next year or 2017. I wanted the young lady and anybody out there to know you don't have to settle for less than the best because you feel like you less than the rest. The devil is a lie. You can do it on your own. You don't have to take shit from no man. You don't have to get your behind beat. You don't have to live on welfare and food stamps if you can at all avoid it. There's nothing wrong with that. Because, baby, somebody give me some stamps right now, I'm sure gonna take them. But you don't have to. Not as long as God sits high in that sky, baby, you don't have to. You can do it without compromising your self-worth and your self-value. My kids are a blessing to me, a true blessing. And I just pray to God that I'm a blessing to them. According to the world, I'm not